I simulated 24,300 laps over 200 races in 10 seasons and made it into one video. So this is everything that happened in F1 2021's My Team. Similar to last year's video, this isn't necessarily about our team, but rather the 10 actual F1 teams and what happened to them over the 10 seasons without us interfering with anything. So with that in mind, we made a very generic team, chose a teammate that we would keep for all 10 seasons, gave ourselves the worst starting car possible by answering Will Buxton's questions a certain way. I have made a video on this, so if you haven't seen it already, I'll leave it in the description below. And then we made sure we didn't do any upgrades to the car or facilities for the 10 seasons. Right, so we are basically just a fly on the wall. But before we go any further, I have to tell you about today's sponsor. Only joking, I don't have any sponsors, but if you enjoyed this video at any point, then drop a like on it. And if you absolutely love it and you really want to see more, then make sure you smash that subscribe button too. Let's see if we can get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Alright then, with that all out the way, let's head to Season 1. Now, Season 1 has gone very differently to what's actually happened so far in real life, with Valtteri Bottas winning the driver's title, along with Mercedes claiming the constructors. Now, you might think that Bottas probably only just beat Hamilton and Verstappen to the title, but no, he absolutely destroyed them, winning a total of 12 races and claiming the title by 90 points. As you can see, Mercedes also dominated and ended the season 320 points clear of the second place team McLaren. Looking at pole positions, Bottas and Hamilton both had 9 poles each, with Norris taking the remaining 2. No one really got close to Bottas's 12 race wins, with Hamilton only claiming 4 race wins. Yet again, Bottas was on top for the fastest laps, claiming 9 of them, 3 times as many as his closest rival Hamilton. Looking at the performance index, as you would expect, Mercedes are at the top and Red Bull were a very close second, despite only coming third in the championship and not winning any of the races. Aston Martin were third, and rather surprisingly, the second place McLaren ended the season with only the 5th best car. However, this will all probably change as there was a regulation change for the aerodynamic and chassis departments for Season 2. There weren't any driver moves this time, so let's head to Season 2. Taking a quick look at the performance index before the start of Season 2, and as you can see, every team did lose a bit of performance, but the overall order didn't change too much. But this time it wasn't a Mercedes driver that won the title, it was Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who bounced back strongly after not winning any races in Season 1. Mercedes just pipped Red Bull to the constructors, winning it by only 29 points in the end. Verstappen managed to get the most amount of poles in Season 2 with 9, which was also the same amount of race wins he got for the season as well. However, Bottas still managed to get the most amount of fast laps, which strangely was also 9. Checking the performance index at the end of the season, Red Bull just pipped Mercedes to having the best car, whilst McLaren bounced back to third. There weren't any regulation changes this time, but there were some tasty driver moves. Kimi Raikkonen decided to call time on his F1 career and was replaced at Alfa Romeo by rookie Christian Lundgaard. Joining Kimi in retirement was his good friend Sebastian Vettel, who was replaced at Aston Martin by Kimi Raikkonen's former teammate Antonio Giovinazzi. This allowed Alfa Romeo to bring in another rookie, this time in the form of Guan Yu Zhou. That wraps up Season 2, let's head to Season 3. In Season 3, Verstappen yet again showed off his driving ability, winning his second driver's title. But again, Red Bull weren't quite good enough to win the constructors title, this time losing out by 3 points to Mercedes, who just about retained their crown for another year. Both Lewis and Max led the way in pole positions with 7 apiece. Max managed to win 3 more races than Lewis with 9, and he also was able to get 8 fastest laps. Looking at the performance index, it seems as though both Mercedes and Red Bull have managed to reach the max level cars already, but the overall order seems to be pretty much the same, with Mercedes just about on top. Heading into Season 4, there weren't any driver moves, but there was a regulation change, this time for the power unit and durability departments. Would this have any effect on the order? no, not really, as Bottas went on to win his second driver's title along with Mercedes winning the Constructors again. And as you can see with the performance index, any performance that the cars lost at the beginning of the season was easily regained by the end of the year, with Aston Martin moving up to the third best car. Bottas was pretty dominant again in Season 4, claiming the most pole positions with 10, the most race wins with 7, along with 7 fastest laps as well. But this all seemed a bit too much for Bottas, who for the second year in a row of making this video, decided to do a Nico Rosberg again and retire after winning a title.
Traditions.
So, will George Russell get the seat? No, he won't, as Mercedes decided to go with fellow Brit Lando Norris instead. His seat at McLaren was taken by Pierre Gasly, which allowed Schumacher to join AlphaTauri. Lundgaard moved from Alfa Romeo to Haas, leaving Alfa Romeo to sign another rookie for their driver lineup, and this time they chose Jack Aitken. And think about it, is he actually a rookie? As he drove for Williams when Russell was at Mercedes for a race. Who knows, but yeah, Aitken is now at Alfa Romeo. No regulation changes this time, so on to Season 5. Lando Norris wasted no time dominating the grid with his new Mercedes, taking 14 pole positions, 12 race wins, along with 9 fastest laps. This ultimately led to him winning his first driver's title as well. No surprises who won the Constructors' title, but Ferrari made a good comeback, finishing second behind Mercedes. The performance index shows that pretty much every team has now reached their max level, so we need a really big regulation change to break this up. And our prayers were answered with a regulation change for the aero, the chassis and the power unit departments. That is a big regulation change. We also had one quite strange driver move in Latifi becoming a free agent, which I didn't even know that could happen, and being replaced at Williams by rookie Nobuharu Matsushita. Heading into Season 6, it seemed as though the regulation changes had worked, with the new order being Alpine, Aston Martin, Red Bull, AlphaTauri, McLaren, Williams, Mercedes, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo and Haas. But all of this still wasn't enough to stop Lando from claiming his second driver's title. But it was enough to stop Mercedes from winning the Constructors, as Ferrari managed to win their first title for nearly 2 decades at this point. Go on, Ferrari. It was close though, with Mercedes only 23 points behind Ferrari. Lando really was in a league of his own in Season 6 though, claiming 11 pole positions, 13 race wins and 10 fastest laps. There were a few driver moves, which started with Sergio Perez retiring from F1, and replacing him at Red Bull was Antonio Giovinazzi. This allowed Alonso to move to Aston Martin, and then Russell then moved to Alonso's former team at Alpine. Nicholas Latifi was brought back to Williams after his sabbatical, and finally Zhou and Matsushita swapped teams, with Zhou now partnering Latifi at Williams and Matsushita now in an Alfa Romeo. There was also another regulation change, this time for the aerodynamics and durability departments. But after the last one, I'm not that optimistic that anything will really change. And it really didn't, as Lando Norris was even more dominant this time round, claiming his third title by 154 points, with Mercedes also reclaiming the Constructors' title as well. Lando was unreal in this season, claiming 17 pole positions, 16 race wins, but surprisingly, despite all that dominance, only managed to get 7 fastest laps. Not too much change in the performance index, with most teams again already reaching their max level cars fairly easily. If you've been wondering what on earth has happened to Hamilton, well, it seems as though his pace has just disappeared, as he only managed to get 34 points and finished 11th in the standings. And with that in mind, he decided to call it time on his F1 career. So surely this time Mercedes will go for Russell, right? But again, no. They decided to go with Guan Yu Zhou. What? And replacing him at Williams was Alonso, who is about 104 years old at this point. This allowed Matsushita to join Aston Martin, which resulted in Alfa Romeo doing their favourite thing in this video and signing a rookie. This time it was Callum Ilott. No regulation changes this time, so let's head to Season 8. Another year, another dominant season for Lando, who claimed his 4th driver's title along with Mercedes claiming yet another constructors title. Lando had 14 pole positions to go along with 14 race wins, but George Russell claimed the most fastest laps over the season with 5. There was also another regulation change, this time for the aerodynamics and chassis departments. And with no driver moves, let's quickly jump to the penultimate season. Season 9 was a similar story again, with Lando claiming his 5th title, this time as early as round 15 in Japan, and finished the season a mind-boggling 190 points ahead of his closest rival Leclerc. No surprise, as Mercedes also won the Constructors again. Lando also claimed 16 pole positions, 14 race wins, and 9 fastest laps. No regulation changes for the last season, but there was another driver retirement, and I think we all know who it is. Yes, that's right, it's George Russell. He's obviously so fed up with not getting that Mercedes seat that he has decided he doesn't want any seat in F1. Alpine then decided to replace Russell with Latifi, and then Williams decided to bring in the rookie Robert Schwartzman. The final season, and it wasn't too much different, with Lando getting his 6th driver's title and Mercedes claiming their 9th constructors title over the 10 years. Lando added a further 11 pole positions and 10 race wins to his accolades, and Giovinazzi managed to get the most fastest laps with 5. Go on, Gio. For those of you wondering what happens when you complete the 10 seasons, well, nothing. You just get booted back to the main menu.
Completed it, mate.